It's fair to say that the launch of Your Party has not exactly been amazing for those involved. There's been miscommunications, a few scandals involving some comments, and potentially one of the co-founders is about to walk away from it, all in the space of about 2 months, and I'm going to go through what has happened. My name's Alex on Politics. Welcome back to my channel for long-form content where we go over news and other political information. And that is what I'm going to talk about today. Make sure, if you do like my content, to like and subscribe. I am fully authentic and fully independent. And also go and follow my TikTok and other social medias as well. So our story starts back on September the 3rd when MP for Coventry South, Zara Sultana, announced that she will be formally leaving the Labour Party after having been an MP for 7 years. She had had the whip suspended for the past year for voting against the government on child benefits, so she wasn't properly recognised within the Labour Party since then, and then decided on July the 3rd that she was going to formally leave. And she announced also in that resignation letter that she was going to be starting a new party with Jeremy Corbyn. Now, the first problem with this was that Jeremy Corbyn hadn't actually planned on announcing it then, and it took him about a day and a bit to announce that he was actually starting the party as well. And apparently he was quite annoyed that she had posted that out of the blue without them actually agreeing on a time as to when they should announce it, which was the first miscommunication between the two of them and not the best launch. But you consider that Corbyn wasn't fully prepared to announce it himself, but he did a day later on July the 4th, basically saying this Labour government is not acting in the best interest of the British people, and we think there needs to be a change and a different government in power, one that actually represents the left's interests. So they basically announced that they were forming a party, but they didn't exactly say much after that. It was pretty much, that was it. They just had one message and then they just continued campaigning on their usual issues. And then 20 days later, on July the 24th, the final official announcement that Your Party was starting came through. And they basically outlined a vision of what they wanted and what they weren't particularly happy with. And at that point, it only actually had 2 MPs that were signed up to it. Now, they sort of changed what was, or who was involved later that day and over the next week, because on August the 1st, they announced what they called the Independent Alliance, which was made up of 6 MPs, which are all listed up on the screen. And they called themselves the Independent Alliance, which a lot of people thought these would be the MPs that were following Your Party once it was registered with the Electoral Commission. But the thing is that this party had been announced for over a month now, and they're just finding people to join it. So there was always that was a bit confusing as to why that launch took so long. But what was happening in this last month was they were relaying the same messages on loads of these different social media posts and all of these different announcements, which were saying the exact same thing. It's just all that was changing with the number of MPs down at the bottom, which is very confusing. But it had been a month and they still hadn't announced a membership until August the 1st. And this membership did quite well. Obviously, over 700,000 people signed up to Your Party. It was a free membership, which broke a lot of records as well. If we count that as proper membership, that was, in terms of people signing up to a political party, they were the largest in Europe at that time, which was actually quite a good sign for them, seeing as they clearly had a lot of big interests, or a lot of people had interest in what they had to say. Moving on to August the 23rd, where Zara Sultana went to the Forwards Festival with the newly elected Green leader, although he wasn't the Green Party leader at the time, but Zach Polansky, which may have been a bit weird for a lot of Your Party voters, as Your Party was supposed to counter the Greens and sort of take them over. That was a lot of what people thought the idea of them would be. And so yeah, they got together at that event, which I guess kind of unified the left in that way as well. And then on September the 1st, Your Party, 2 months after they'd decided that they were going to form, had announced that they were holding an event in South London on September the 12th, as well as one also in Wales. Bearing in mind, this had happened over 2 months, right? This wasn't a quick launch. It was taking a very, very long time. And I think that was putting a lot of people off as to thinking, what on earth is going on? This launch has been kind of weird. Within that, one of Your Party, or not necessarily there, but the Independent Alliance MPs, Adnan Hussein, had made a very controversial comment regarding transgenderism, which directly opposed some of the views within that party as well. And there was a big problem with that within the Your Party base, that people were saying, why should he be part of our party if he has opposing views to what progressives really feel towards transgenderism and those types of social issues, which wasn't a good look for the party, having not even formed or had a conference yet, and they were already having infighting. But whilst this was going on, none of the MPs that were part of this independent alliance had any mention of actually joining Your Party, and they were still all independent MPs online and on all of their profiles, so there wasn't really much sense of, okay, these are the people that are going to be representing Your Party. It was very, very unclear as to what was going on within that party, until we get to yesterday, where Zara Sultana posted on Twitter that the Your Party membership had now launched for £55 a year. However, this was a complete miscommunication, as Jeremy Corbyn and the rest of the Your Party team didn't want that membership being released. She didn't have the green light from the rest of the party to actually post that membership. They said that is not okay, you need to take this membership down. Bearing in mind they already had 20,000 members in the space of about 5 or 6 hours, but she was told to remove the post and remove the membership as they weren't ready, which once again was highlighting the miscommunication in this party, that I don't understand why you would launch the membership without the rest of the party actually allowing you to, or saying this is what we're doing now. Doesn't make sense to me. And then Jeremy Corbyn, Your Party itself, posted something on the internet basically saying that wasn't what was supposed to happen. We're not too sure what was going on there, and it looks like that Zara Sultana might be leaving the party. She did put out a response to the Your Party statement by saying that it was a sexist boys club and that she was appalled by the treatment of her within that party, and that she had been completely excluded, which was also not exactly a good look for the party, having had multiple scandals in the space of the 2 months of launching, or of having 2 events without actually launching a proper membership system or any policies whatsoever. And it looks like if she can't speak to anyone from that party and make amends, and she's going to be leaving the party, one of the co-founders and biggest voices of that party, without it even being launched, if you get what I mean. However, Jeremy Corbyn has come out this morning and has said he is trying to make amends with her and trying to fix things, but this whole launch has been an absolute catastrophe when you consider the fact that they've announced 0 policies. They had a miscommunication on their membership system, in which lots of people now have to be refunded after spending £55 without the full party's permission to actually allow them to be members. They've had issues with transgenderism, and one of their MPs saying directly opposing things towards progressives. They've taken 2.5 months. They haven't actually amassed a single MP that actually identifies as part of that party. They haven't even come up with a name yet. They said on the launch of their party a month and a half ago that they will come up with a name. That hasn't happened. And we could be seeing one of the co-leaders leave without the party even being registered. This is not a great look for a party that wants to be the party for the left and the replacement of Labour. It's not been a great start for them. I don't know where they go from here, because there's a lot of credibility that's kind of missing, because they just can't piece things together and they're having so many problems. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below, whether you think that this party is going to be successful, whether it's going to actually go ahead and challenge in elections, or whether these types of things are going to continue happening, because if you've had this many problems in the first 2 months, it's not a good sign for the rest of the party. But yeah, let me know what you guys think down in the comments section below. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy this content. This video might have been a bit confusing for you guys, because it is quite a confusing thing that's happened. If you liked it, make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.